back to this channel where we spread love and positive vibes. Thank you so much to the new subscribers and the returning subscribers for supporting us the whole year. Guys, it is the end of the year. This week will be the starting of 2025, and allow me to start the video by wishing you a very prosperous 2025 and a blessed 2025. May your wishes come true in the coming year. May the hand of God guide you and lead you to prosperity, because it is a year to actually change your destiny. When you have positivity and hard work, nothing is impossible. And let me enter direct to the video for today. I was shocked, guys, to learn that the Jamaican culture is almost everywhere, in every corner of the world. In the southern side of the world, in the northern side of the world, in the eastern, western, central. Jamaican culture is practiced by almost everybody. And the reason why this is so is because Jamaican people, like I said in one of my videos, are aggressive people. They are people that cannot stick in one place. They love going to look for green pastures. And therefore, I'm going to bring to you figures in this video of Jamaicans that live in United States of America, and therefore how they have influenced Jamaican culture in America. I'm also going to bring to you figures of the number of Jamaican people that live in the United Kingdom, and of course, how they have influenced in terms of Jamaican culture in the United States or in the United Kingdom. I'm also going to bring to you the number of Jamaicans that live in Canada. This is where, by the way, the majority of Jamaican diaspora live. In the United States of America, in United Kingdom, in Canada, and the list goes like that until the country with the smallest number of Jamaicans living there and influencing their culture there. One thing I love about Jamaica is that wherever they go, they practice their culture, they keep their traditions, they follow to the core their culture, and they actually cook their food there. And therefore, this is something to be proud of as Jamaicans and to be proud of as Africans, to know that we should be proud of our heritage, we should be proud of our culture, we should be proud of our traditions. And Jamaica has actually been an inspiration when it comes to practicing culture and actually traditions, and not going to practice other people's culture after they arrive there. The reason why Jamaican culture is so widespread is because when they go to United States of America, they practice their culture there. When they go to UK, they practice their culture there. In Canada, they do the same. They do not fear or actually shy from practicing their culture, and that is why most of the white people have been pulled to actually embrace the Jamaican culture and somehow practice it. Today, we are going to feature a Japanese man who actually speaks very nice English, and according to him, he was taught English by a Jamaican teacher, and he has a restaurant in Jamaica, and that restaurant, he cooks Jamaican food. Jack chicken, all the Jamaican food that are cooked in Jamaica are prepared in his restaurant. And it happened that this guy you're going to see in the video visited him to actually ask him some questions about Jamaica. He's a funny man, by the way, very funny, but I love how he spoke English and the kind of food he was cooking. Actually, Jamaican food. You can imagine a stranger, a person that was born in Japan, coming to Jamaica, running the language of the people, actually starting a restaurant where he prepares Jamaican food, and people go there and enjoy the food prepared by this Japanese. The hotel is, I'm going to tell you the name of the hotel in the course of the video. Actually, it is Corner Shop Jack. Corner Shop Jack is the hotel for this guy, and the name of this man is Chief IQ. Chief IQ is a Japanese man who has moved from Japan, come to Jamaica, specifically in Osaka. Osaka is in Jamaica, and started this restaurant called the Corner Shop Jack. This is where this guy prepares very, very delicious Jamaican food, and according to this guy, they really enjoyed the food prepared by this man, and they were so happy to hear him speak Jamaican patwa mixed with English that he was taught by a Jamaican English teacher. So kindly listen to him, and then I'll come back.
All right, introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name IQ.
Where are you from?
Osaka Banang Road.
And where's your second home? Where's your second home?
Jamaica Kingston.
Okay.
Early 2004 or 5, first time in Jamaica. My English teacher is a Jamaican.
Oh, okay. Where in Jamaica was he from?
Montego Bay.
And how was your
In
first
Montego
experience in Jamaica?
Bay. It's like Osaka, you know. People is funny.
Yeah.
And food is nice.
Okay.
And pum pum is tight. You don't know.
I think we can end the interview right now. I think that would be...
Sounds good. Show up.
Your English is really, really good.
No, sir. My English is dirty. It's not the English, you know, patwa, you know.
I'm sure you are so entertained by this guy. He talks about Jamaican people in a very, very good way. Just like what we have had in all the videos that we feature people talking about Jamaican people. One, he says they are good people, they are funny people, their food is good, and he enjoys the Jamaican food. No wonder he started the restaurant, the Corner Shop Jack, where he prepares the Jamaican food. So this guy really loves the Jamaican people. There is something funny he said. I don't want to mention it, but he was giving the goodness of the people of Jamaica, but somehow he became naughty at a point. So I'm not going to mention that, but he talked about the food of Jamaica being so great, the people of Jamaica being funny, and himself. He has actually adapted to the characteristics and the traits of the Jamaican people. You could see how funny he was, how entertaining he was, and actually the kind of food he has prepared, being a foreigner and not a native, and he comes to Jamaica and prepares this great food, the jack chicken. It's a plus to Jamaican people, because for a stranger to eager to actually open a restaurant and prepare Jamaican food, that is actually a great marriage, and it means that people love Jamaican culture, people love Jamaican food, people love Jamaican language. Jamaica has become a global admiration to many people all over the world. Many people actually pilgrims, they call pilgrims, migrations. Let me resend the word by saying it's migration. They migrate from where they are living to come to Jamaica with their children, so that their children can be taught Jamaican culture. At one point, we saw that the father to Kamala Harris used to bring them to Jamaica every year so that they can learn the culture and the type of food from Jamaica. So this is something that is practiced by very, very many Jamaicans who live in diaspora. They desire to bring back their children to Jamaica so that they can learn the language and they can actually experience the food of their ancestors. This is a great plus to the people of Jamaica. You can imagine people going to diaspora many years ago and live there. they become citizens of that country, and yet they don't forget where they came from. They don't forget their roots. They actually take their children to their roots so that they can learn the traditions, the type of food, the culture, the people, the way of life. This is actually makes me to be so pleased. And that is why a great man like Kamala Harris' dad could actually take the initiative to take Kamala Harris and the siblings to Jamaica so that they may learn the language of the people, the culture of Jamaica, and the type of food and the way of life. Very great. And these pilgrims are very many in Jamaica. The Jamaican in diaspora cannot live with their children learning the white man language, learning the white man culture without knowing their roots. So they always come back to Jamaica so that their children can be taught the culture and the way of life in Jamaica, which is a very great thing. Now, the other thing that actually amused me and made me to marvel at how Jamaican culture can actually move like a bushfire. I learned that in Japan, the ska and the reggae music are very common. The Japanese people have a Jamaican festival that is held every year to actually commemorate and celebrate Jamaican culture. I have not heard, maybe there are, but I have not heard another country's culture being practiced in the developed country. It's my first time to hear a culture from a very small island in the Caribbean being eagered and practiced in a country like Japan. And that shows many people all over the world, they love Jamaican culture, they practice Jamaican culture, they love the way of life. Actually, I saw that in Poland and Russia, there is a lot of reggae subculture in Poland and in Russia. The reggae subculture is practiced in these two lands, and therefore there might be, I'm not very sure, but there could be a Jamaican festival in Russia and Poland. You can imagine people borrowing a culture that was started in a small island with very low population. I emphasize that because this is not a small achievement for the people of Jamaica. It's a marriage for their culture to be loved and to be practiced in these great nations. There is a lot of Russia dance hall dancers. Imagine, in Russia there is a lot of dance hall dancers. They love the Jamaican music. They love the Jamaican way of dancing. And therefore there are a lot of dance hall dancers in Russia. In Poland, there is the Polish reggae. You can see how Jamaican culture has influenced countries globally all over the world. So in Poland, we have the Polish reggae. In Russia, we have the dance hall dancers. And in Japan, we have the Japanese dance hall queen. You can see how great Jamaican culture has been adapted and practiced in different countries. So in Japan, there is this dance hall queen, which is very, very peculiar when we consider that Japan is a very, very developed country, and therefore you cannot imagine Japan practicing the Jamaican culture. In Germany, we have a lot of Jamaican people, Germany in Berlin. We also have a lot of festivals. The festivals are based on African and Jamaican culture. Guys, can you imagine in Germany, in Russia, in Poland, in Japan? the Jamaican culture or the African culture are practiced there. So we have seen in Germany, in Berlin, there is the African and the Jamaican festivals that are held there. I told you that the Jamaican people will not go to a nation and boycott or forget their culture or forget their music or forget their food. They carry along their culture, they carry along their music, they carry along the type of food they prepare and cook. And that is why we always people always talk about Jamaica. When it is this Jamaica, it is this Jamaica. Some people ask that question. But Jamaicans themselves have made the initiative to spread the gospel of their culture, the gospel of their traditions, the gospel of their music, the gospel of their type of food, and therefore everyone embraces this type of things that are done in Jamaica. So we have seen these countries practice the reggae music, the dancehall music, the ska music, because of how Jamaican people have gone to these countries and taught the people their culture and their way of life. I remember in one of it was the opening ceremony in Paris Olympics, and the Jamaican team did not shy away to share their songs, to share their dancing, to share their way of life in that field during the opening ceremony. This is how you spread your culture, you spread your way of life, you spread your traditions to other people. We actually saw other competitors trying to speak patwa and actually talking about greeting each other using wagwan. Because the Jamaican people have boldly advertised themselves. They have boldly embraced their culture and their traditions, and they are not embarrassed to practice this culture and their traditions in other people's land, in other people's occasions, and therefore people come to love them, embrace them, and be eager to learn their culture. And that is why we can see this Mr. IQ, Chief IQ, came all the way from Japan and actually started a restaurant in Jamaica, in Osaka, and you have seen the name of the restaurant is the Corner Shop Jack. And therefore many Jamaicans go to eat food in this Japanese hotel, and even the Japanese people themselves. And this is the way we spread about our culture, we spread about our traditions, we spread about our type of food, and other people come to embrace and love them. I also saw Asians practice Rastafarian culture, many of them. So you can imagine even in Asia, the Jamaican culture is embraced and practiced. The Rastafarian culture is practiced in most of the islands in the Caribbean. We have seen it in Trinidad and Tobago, we saw it in Grenada, we saw it in Cuba, we saw it in this country where the mango was, Dominican Republic. So all over the Caribbean islands, the Rastafarian culture is very common, and even here in Africa. So the Jamaican culture has spread far and wide to every corner of the world. So guys, without further ado, let me go to the figures of the Jamaican diasporas living in different parts of the world and influencing the natives of that land, the natives of that land in terms of culture, in terms of food, in terms of traditions. Do not forget, we saw that Jamaicans migrated to Canada, and we're going to see Canada has the largest population of Jamaican migrants. And we saw that when they arrived in Canada, they started their Jamaican patwa. And there was a controversy of the way they prepared their patwa and the burger in Canada. And Jamaicans stood their ground. Yeah, that is the right word to use. They stood their ground until the Canadian government had to grant them the liberty to call their party Jamaican Party. This is a great achievement in a foreign land. It shows how Jamaicans are determined to keep their culture, how Jamaicans are determined to keep their traditions, how Jamaicans are determined to keep their type of food. And therefore, there was a great influence in Canada on Jamaican Party that is prepared there, and the Canadians love it and embrace it. This is a great marriage to Jamaica. And that is why I'm telling you, Jamaica culture has gone internationally, globally. They have influenced everyone in the four corners of the world. They have not shied to spread the gospel of their culture, like I had said earlier, the gospel of their food, the gospel of their traditions, the gospel of their beliefs, and of course, the gospel of their goodness in other parts of the world. And people love them, embrace them, talk about them, and they have become an inspiration to very many people. So let me go to the figures so that we can see the number of Jamaicans living in different parts of the world and influencing in terms of culture, in terms of traditions, in terms of dressing, in terms of food, in different corners of the world. So guys, in United States, there are 1,100,000 Jamaican people in United States of America. You can see actually their highest population is in Florida and New York. They have actually concentrated there in Florida and New York. So in United States of America, Jamaicans are 1,100,000 Jamaican people living in United States of America, and you can imagine how much they can influence the culture, the traditions, and the food wherever they live. In United Kingdom, there are about 800,000 Jamaicans living there. In Canada, there are 485 Jamaicans that live there. In Cayman Island, where the Mango was, there are 21,888 Jamaicans that live there. In Trinidad and Tobago, there are 15,000 Jamaicans that live there. In Antigua and Barbado, there are 12,000 Jamaicans that live there. In Bahamas, 5,572 Jamaicans that live there. Germany, 4,000 Jamaicans. Netherlands, 1971 Jamaicans. Australia, 1092 Jamaicans. Japan, 945 Jamaicans. Brazil, 704, and Aruba, 600 Jamaicans. So you can see that in every corner of the world, some of the countries have not been put here. And I want to tell you the truth. Jamaicans are widespread all over the world, and they carry along their culture, they carry along their food, they carry along everything about them. And that is why the world embrace and celebrate Jamaica for the great work they have done of spreading their culture, spreading their way of life, and spreading their food to different corners of the world. Jamaica culture has gone internationally. It is up to the globe now. Thank you once again for listening to us. See you during the next video. Bye-bye, and God bless, and have a blessed, once again, 2025.